Alright friends, welcome back to Tactical Enlightenment. You're watching another episode of our Expert Tactics series, showing some of the most difficult battles I've faced in my campaign, and then deploying complicated and unique tactics to overcome these formidable challenges. Welcome back to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. Indeed, literally welcome back, because this is the follow-up to the enormous battle we just had against the Valandians in the last episode. I'm going to call this basically just a continuation of that battle, as when those Valandians were converging and attacking our force here, these Battanians were literally right behind them. And now that we're highly injured, they want some as well. So we've got a bunch of companions that are injured. I mean, a lot of our troops are at 10% health, and we're down to 700 men versus 1,600. Of course, a lot of our elite troops are injured as well, so this is going to be potentially even harder than that battle against Valandia. As in the battle against Valandia, we have the advantage of a good location. It's almost like we camped out here after the Valandian battle, and we get to sort of shoot downhill at the enemy with this nice river on our flank here, sort of protecting us from flanking attacks. We'll be able to sort of concentrate our firepower and give us a chance to win here. I'm expanding my 8th Corps a little bit, just because this is a kind of battle where it's going to be all hands on deck. Those who've watched the channel for any length of time know that we show wins and losses on our channel. This is kind of raw battle as it happens in the campaign. I don't record every battle. I'm going to pull my troops way back here, I think, just sort of scouting it out. I wish I could go up to that castle and get on the walls, but I guess the idea is that's the castle we're besieging. So I suppose they wouldn't let us in. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend our archers here in large clumps off to the top of the map, sort of buttressed against the river there. Presumably no troops can attack from the fortress up there. That's nice. And tactics in this battle are going to be a little bit freestyle. I'm probably going to use a square, either of infantry or cavalry, to try to distract from the enemy. I do have a decent amount of all the different unit types. I've got some cavalry. There's small amounts though, right? The enemy is going to outnumber us here probably. It looked like 3 to 1. What was it, 1,800 against 600 and something? So we're in bad shape in this battle. And of course, there's definitely a chance we lose. Anybody who's watched a lot of the videos know that we've had 4 or 5 defeats that we've shared videos of. So I like that suspense both for myself and for the average watcher, the average follower of the campaign I'm in. I can in 30 seconds. This was just a little branch of the campaign where I decided we were going to try to fuck with Valandia and Battania and sort of get them out of our hair for a while. Now the enemy's really spread out. 500 units. Some of the units are, I don't know, maybe they got drunk last night and fell behind the rest of their comrades, because 500. How about that shot? Yeah, that was all skill, by the way. I'm an expert javelin thrower, right? Throw them straight up in the air and kill a Battanian and Fian champion. Yeah, that guy too. So the enemy is really spread out here. This is odd. Hopefully they approach. Fuck you, this guy trying to take me out. You can see my own health is greatly reduced here too, so I've got to be careful, even though careful is not something I'm good at. I tend to fight a little bit reckless. And if I get dropped very early in this battle, you probably won't ever get to watch it. I'm just in my room here, with my wife working on her small business next door, mumbling into my mic. The advantage, though, is that the enemy's getting very strung out here, which is good, because we won't probably fight like this piecemeal, or we won't fight the whole enemy all at once. They might come in sort of piecemeal. I think these cavalry are coming in kind of a little bit haphazardly. At this stage, we're going to be limiting ammunition, right? I don't want to be just raining down arrows on 20 cav that are coming in. I'm going to be holding fire until the threat is more obvious, like now. But now that I've got some faster cav following them, we'll let hail some darts here. And they have high-level troops, of course. At this stage of my campaign, a lot of the different kingdoms have an amalgamation of different forces. I mean, this Battanian force has Asserai and Valandian cavalry. you know, you get these sort of hybrid armies, including our own as well, of course. We've got a huge infantry block. We're going to have to coordinate our attacks on that. We're doing some nice killing at range here, but that's a big block of infantry we're going to have to deal with. The advantage of range is clear, right? You're shooting downhill, does more damage downhill. Infantry are running downhill, you have more range shooting downhill. The advantages are many. I'm just going to sit behind. I've got a cavalry line here and an infantry line, and until it's obvious I need to change something, like that huge infantry block coming in, we're just going to wait for the enemy here. What I'd like to do is coordinate attacks on them. So we're going to start spreading troops to the side. You know, I've seen some channels where they do something similar and they call it a false gap. This is not a false gap, right? This is a concentrated attack with flanking. We're letting this infantry come in. You see me spreading out troops to the sides. And that's because when they do attack, we're going to counterattack and try to hit them from multiple sides. So sending in the cavalry, just kind of like as a distraction, right? I'm sending them into a shield wall and trying to break them up a little bit. So look at all our javelins. I want our javelins just doing nasty work on them. Now that the cavalry's past them, I sent them on charge because I want them basically causing carnage, attacking archers, and now we collapse these two sides, right? It's kind of a three-sided attack because we do have the cap behind them. But for the most part, it's our two different wings here. I got to be very careful. Normally, I would just wade into battle, totally reckless, but I got to be a little bit more careful here, given my health. No, this is not my choice to fight the battle like this. We repelled that first wave pretty easily, although there's Britannian and Fian champs we got to deal with yet. We were forced to fight this battle, right? We were besieging and got attacked by these two forces, right? This is suboptimal. This is a risk you take when you siege. We plowed through that. So the other thing you can see I'm doing there is that cavalry that's in front. They have one job, and that's to screen us from the enemy archers. Oh shit, flying horse. You know, I want those cavalry being shot at by the enemy archers, not us. And they did a very good job of that. I dropped my pole arm again. It was a long night, right? We had a bad battle against the Valandians. What can I say? All right, so we're spreading out archers on the flank here. I've got this line of shield wall. It's both cav and infantry, and they immolated that first enemy wave. I mean, that was vicious. Look at that's Achir. He's one of my companion members, roaring down with his wicked two-hander. The 8th Corps is pretty badly damaged at this stage, right? I'm not going to have the normal potency of the 8th Corps, but while they're up on their feet, they are going to be nasty, right? These are going to be very savage troops. They're going to do a lot of damage, unless they get speared to death. So I got to try to keep them standing like that. Let's get a horse here. This battlefield is very difficult to see. There's this big humpback in the middle, and I can't honestly see where the enemy configuration is. It looks like they're hugely spread out. I mean, they started the battle spread out, then they got more spread out as they came up the hill, so, yeah, they got a bunch of archers spread out there.
Cavalry, follow me!
Now, I think we'll just stay back. We can win the ranged battle. I might do some cavalry sweeps here. We can kind of drive our heavy horse right through their archers. But I have no reason, I don't see any reason to commit our infantry and archers down the hill here. Just sort of harass these troops that are pursuing, and make them come fight our concentrated forces. Because the reinforcement location was so far away for the enemy, they're kind of strung out, right? This is a combination of bad AI, but also us taking advantage of it, right? When the enemy makes mistakes, you can make a second mistake by not taking advantage of it, right? In this situation, it makes sense to try to destroy their forces while they're separated. Don't let them regroup. So we're going to be moving a little bit more aggressive here, right? We got to go in and shield wall. My health is already below half. Like I can get killed by a horse almost at this stage. We're going to try to pick off some of these Fian champs at range, just hiding behind my shields, right? We're just going to throw our lethal javelins. Let's get some cav down here as well in the shield wall. What I can do is I can move these shield walls forward like linebackers, or like linemen for a running back. I can just shove these guys right in the face of the enemy, and then we can follow with our 1st infantry, which is our strong shield wall, and then our 6th and 8th, which is more of our shock troop types, right? I can keep on sniping these guys through the cracks. And now we're gonna push up on the enemy here. So in this case, I'm specifically telling them to attack, right? I want them charging downhill. You see the cavalry got basically a little bit skewed there. I'm just sniping these Fian champs. We're fighting downhill. I mean, we don't have many reinforcements. Our whole battle, our whole army group is reduced to 600 troops. This is one of those desperate situations. You can't retreat at this stage. Once you commit, you got to just pour in here. We retreat, everybody here is dead. Speaking of retreating, I got fucking 12 guys on me. Oh, we got a cavalry reinforcement wave at just the right time. I think they literally like appeared on the map right there. That's probably our own, don't let them, right? When you see them trying to spread, try to get to the flank first and cut it off. Right? Their units are repositioning. Enemies that are moving like that oftentimes won't be attacking, won't be fighting back. When they're doing that, you want to attack aggressively. Similarly, I'm going to move my units up here. I'm going to move my archers and my cav off to the flank so we can shoot downhill. When they're moving, if the enemy starts to attack them, instantly you should be changing your archers to charge. If your archers are in serious trouble, don't have them keep moving because they'll just get mowed over. Right? I can at least explain some stuff like that to help people. You're the one moving. Look at how we're shooting downhill. Our guys are going to have way more range than the enemy here. I mean, we've already come down this hill quite a ways, but look how much further. They're definitely starting to look good from the overall perspective here. Okay, see, the thing is range is increased uphill, right? I mean, everybody knows you can throw a rock further from the top of a skyscraper than you can if you stand on the ground. It's the same thing with arrows and crossbows and Bannerlord. So my troops are shooting. I don't know what that is. It's like 250 units down there, right? Same thing with the javelins. They can shoot further. That means we can literally shoot at the enemy, and they can't shoot at us, right? So I can have these archers positioned. We want them a little closer, and we could shoot, and they're not doing near the damage to us as we're doing to them. Nice big tree here I can hide behind. Love a tree for just having a command post. The only thing it doesn't have is a nice hot cup of coffee. Now they're closer, right? Let's rain fucking hell on them.
Soldiers! Move! Loose formation! Stand up, movement! Soldiers! Infantry! Infantry! Form a wall!
Few cavalry threatening our flank. That's not enough for me to be worried about. Whoop. Except I gotta be careful not to get speared. Alright, another infantry line coming up. So another fight to the death here. Let's charge. Look at this guy going the wrong way. Should kill the deserters. It's time to send in the archers as well. A lot of them are out of ammo. It's 2 units rather. These are weak units. They're getting more reinforcements. Of course, we're pretty much out of reinforcements, but at this stage we have the far better troops. We're going to continue aggressively moving down the hill here.
Troops! Forward! Archers! Archer, move! Infantry forward!
I swear I hear some of the enemy routing. Yeah, these guys are fucking routing. They're not reforming. If you listen closely for the audio cues, troops actually tell you when they're running. You know, oh, I gotta get out of here. They make some pussy sound. Run, run! Oh, I'm leaving. And I think the enemy just routed. I think that was such a beating. I think they realized they're fighting literally an uphill battle. I think they're out of here. And of course, when the enemy's routing like this, you want to inflict as much damage as you can, right? There's no actual thing that you can see that's like a morale gauge. But when the enemy's morale is close to wavering, a couple, 3 more kills, a couple more beheadings where the head of their companions are rolling down the hill faster than they can run down it, and the enemy will give up the ghost. They will quit. They will leave. And if they are reforming, it's like the longest reforming of a line I've ever seen. I've been surprised before by the enemy just retreating like this kind of distance, but I think I think these battalions have had enough. Send in my 8th Corps just to inflict some damage on them. Yeah. All right. Well, it wasn't nearly as hard as the Valandian fight, even though we were outnumbered almost as bad, 3-1. You can see we barely lost 215 guys. I realize it's not the tactical fight that the Valandian battle is, but for those following the campaign, I wanted to include it directly afterwards. I'm going to include this in the expert series, even though I don't think expert tactics were necessarily used in this battle. So let me know what you think of the series. Let me know, if you're following the campaign, if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Thanks for all the comments. Please subscribe if you're interested in more, and I'll talk to you fellas next time.
Stand up, troops! Give them so loose formation! Troops! Stand up, archer! Look and stand forward! Line formation!